But now the smell turns her stomach, makes her think of rot. She presses the glass to her lips without taking a sip. "Hi, babe," she says in a bright voice, polished just for him. "How was work?" But the words catch in her throat. His eyes narrow. He moves quickly, despite the alcohol, his fingers digging into the soft flesh of her bicep. "Where did you go today?" She knows better than to twist out of his grasp, though every cell of her wants to. Instead, she places her hand on his chest. "Nowhere," she says, trying to keep her voice steady. "I've been home all day." She'd been careful to leave her iPhone at the flat when she walked to the pharmacy, to take only cash with her. She smiles, leans in to kiss him. His cheek is rough with stubble. Another smell mingles with the alcohol, something heady and floral. Perfume, maybe? It wouldn't be the first time. A tiny flare of hope in her gut. It could work to her advantage if there's someone else. But she's miscalculated. He shifts away from her and then... "Liar!" Kate barely hears the word as Simon's hand connects with her cheek, the pain dizzying like a bright light. At the edges of her vision, the colours of the room slide together. The gold-lit floorboards, the white leather couch, the kaleidoscope of the London skyline through the window. A distant crashing sound. She has dropped her glass of wine. She grips the counter, her breath coming out of her in ragged bursts, blood pulsing in her cheek. Simon is putting on his coat, picking up his keys from the dining table. "Stay here," he says. "I'll know if you don't." His shoes ring out across the floorboards. The door slams. She doesn't move until she hears the creak of the lift down the shaft. He's gone. The floor glitters with broken glass. Wine hangs sour in the air. A copper taste in her mouth brings her back to herself. Her lip is bleeding, caught against her teeth by the force of his hand. Something switches in her brain. "I'll know if you don't." It hadn't been enough, leaving her phone at home. He's found another way to track her. She remembers how the doorman eyed her in the lobby. Had Simon slipped him a wad of crisp notes to spy on her? Her blood freezes at the thought. If he finds out where she went, what she did earlier today, who knows what else he might do? Install cameras? Take away her keys? And all her plans will come to nothing. She'll never get out. But no. She's ready enough, isn't she? If she leaves now, she could get there by morning. The drive will take 7 hours. She's plotted it carefully on her second phone, the one he doesn't know about. Tracing the blue line on the screen, curling up the country like a ribbon. She's practically memorized it. Yes, she'll go now. She has to go now. Before he returns, before she loses her nerve. She retrieves the Motorola from its hiding place, an envelope taped to the back of her bedside table, takes a holdall from the top shelf of the wardrobe, fills it with clothes. From the ensuite she grabs her toiletries, the box she hid in the cupboard earlier that day. Quickly, she changes out of her red dress into dark jeans and a tight pink top. Her fingers tremble as she unclasps the necklace. She leaves it on the bed, coiled like a noose. Next to her iPhone with its gold case, the one Simon pays for, knows the passcode to. The one he can track. She rummages through the jewellery box on her bedside table, fingers closing around the gold B-shaped brooch she's had since childhood. She pockets it and pauses, looking around the bedroom. The cream duvet and curtains, the sharp angles of the Scandi-style furniture. There should be other things to pack, shouldn't there? She had loads of stuff. Once. Piles and piles of dog-eared books, art prints, mugs. Now everything belongs to him. In the lift, adrenaline crackles in her blood. What if he comes back, intercepts her as she's leaving? She presses the button for the basement garage, but the lift jerks to a stop at the ground floor, the doors creaking open. Her heart pounds. The doorman's broad back is turned. He's talking to another resident. Barely breathing, Kate presses herself small into the lift, exhaling only when no one else appears.